Hello everyone, welcome to my next Graphic 45 brand ambassador project. And this time I've been given the assignment of up-leveling. So an up-leveling is when we go back through the Graphic 45 club and have a look at some of the projects there and see which one we can take on and use different kits, add a little of our own touch and make it our own style. So this time I've gone for one of the card club projects, and it's the swinging gate card. Now originally it was designed by Ropp, and she used it for an American sized card, which, if I'm right, is it 5.5 by 4.25. So for my up level, I've decided to use the new 5 by 7 cards. So I'm going to take it and make it bigger, and obviously use a different paper pad because the Farmhouse one is not available anymore. So when I was up leveling it to 5 by 7, I had a little practice with Make a Splash, and as you can see, I've made it 5 by 7. And then I thought, can I take it a step further? So with letters to Santa coming out, I thought, let's get some Christmas cards done. And with some clever measurements and working outs, I've managed to come up with this really, what should we say? It's economical with the measurements. 2 sheets of the 8 by 8, and I covered all the sides, just again with my clever measurements. So I took this, and this time I've gone for the rounded corners, which I think really did make a bit of a difference. So I even up-leveled my own project. Now, if you're wondering, you can get these project sheets as well. If you go to the G45 Papers website, you can go to the inspiration section, and there is a lot of the past G45 projects as well as YouTube videos to match them, where you can download if you like your paper instructions. So let's get going and make our letters to Santa swinging gate card. So as I said, I'm using the Graphic 45 5 by 7 card blanks. And the great thing about these is they come without any score lines. So you don't have to just use them folded in half like most do. We can do gate folds and everything. I'm sure I'll have more in the future of ways to use these. But because mine is a fold in half, I am going to just score it at 5 inches. So just down the middle. So I've got the 10 inch across the top and 5 down the middle. But I'm then going to bring my trimmer in. And I'm going to cut it at 8 inches. So this gives me So as I said, I'm going to be using the 5 by 7 card blanks. Now, the great thing about these ones is they don't come with a score line down the middle, which means if you need to alter and you want to make gate folds and everything, you can add your own score lines. So I've got one of the cards and one of the envelopes. So I'm going to start by scoring my card blank at 5 inches. So we are doing one down the middle. So I've got my 10 inches across the top, scoring in half at 5. But then I'm going to bring my card trimmer, or my paper trimmer, and I'm going to trim it at 8.5 inches. So this means now that my card front is shorter than the back, but this piece isn't waste. This is what's actually going to make that arm that comes across the front. So I'm going to put it back in my scoreboard, and my card is 5 inches wide, so I'm going to score it at 5 inches. And then I'm just going to bring my Teflon tool and just give it a nice sharp burnish. And the same with the branch. And then the optional extra this time was, if you wanted to, you can round off all the corners. So I'm using the 10mm, the large corner. I could just do those ones. That would look nice, but it's a bit tougher because this cardstock is thick. So when you're going through the doubles, make sure it's in the right place. There we go. And the same then with my branch on my arm. Making sure that it's folded when I punch. There we go. Let's get these little bits out of the way. And that's pretty much our card blank made. So as I said, there's a lot of clever measurements and working out with this. So the first one was the fact that the offcut does become the piece here. Now, one thing Ginger didn't do, but I've actually added a magnet to my arm just to keep it closed. So that's another optional extra. So if you wanted to do that, you could do that now as well. So I'm just looking for my double-sided tape. Now I just going to eyeball where I'm putting my arm, but you could measure it halfway. And the glue has dried. Let's see if I got another glue. Yeah. So I'm just adding the glue just so I can slide it about. So the tape will hold it there for now so I can carry on working, but the glue will just mean I can slide it, but also dries over time. Let's open it. Right. So I've got my arm open like that, just to go over, and I'm going to line up on the left hand side and line up on the right hand side and burnish. So that is your swinging gate complete. And then this is where I go a bit different to Ginger's original. So I'm just going to put a magnet. So these are just 1/2 mil magnets, really thin. And then I take another piece of double-sided tape with the sticky side up and I drop it on top. And then when I fold it, best if I shut the card. There we go. That is now covered there as well. So card blank, all complete. So my next step is to pick out some designer paper. So I'm using 2 sheets of 8x8 and I'll show you some really clever measurements. Now I really liked how this one went across. He sort of fitted perfectly there, and when it was shut, the stamps were still visible there. So I'm gonna choose another, because we do have 3 of each sheet in the kit. So I am gonna be boring and choose the same one again. And this time I've chosen this topper. Now I'll be honest, I've chosen this topper from the 12 by 12 kit just because it's bigger. But the other options are, if you've got the ephemera kit, there's a big large image in that one, which would be perfect. Or you could have a smaller topper and then just build around it. But it's up to you what you want to do there. So I picked my topper first, and then I chose my paper to match. So I've gone for the Naughty or Nice, because it just brought out the same colours as in there. So these now are the clever measurements. So first of all, we want to cut our paper at 6 3/4. Now, if I cut the bottom, 6 3/4 would cut there, and it just cut across those bits, and it just didn't look nice. So what I'm going to do is cut 6 3/4 from the top, and he should fit in. So I'm going to take off the title piece. So cut that at 8 inches. And 6 3/4 came that. So don't chuck that bit. That bit's going to come in useful. You can probably see where. And then I want to cut 4 3/4 from the right hand side. So I'm going to turn my papers upside down. Now, if you're using non-directional paper, it doesn't really matter. But so my card is 5 inches wide, so I'm going down 1/4 inch to 4 3/4. And as you can see, Santa fitted perfectly there. So that's the piece to cover the inside. And then the back of this is 4 3/4 as well. And that is what's going to fit onto my arm. So it's all really economical. That was the word I was trying to think of earlier. We're using all the bits. And now I'm taking my medium corner punch. So 7mm on my We Are Memory Keeper one. But small, medium, large. As long as you use your large and then your medium, you'll get that nice layered look. So let's just bring in some black ink. We're just going to go on the edge just to get rid of that white edge or white core when you cut. Just because I'm working on black cardstock, it just shows up a little bit more. Plus it adds a little vintage look to it, which I think matches these papers brilliantly. Got some feathering from my trimmer, so I'm just going to iron them out. And then I'm just going to grab my glue and glue them down. I'm having problems with my glue today drying out. This one's okay. So that's the inside. And the slimmer panel. So the joy of using these image sort of papers on the inside is you get this pattern continuation going across. And actually, let's have a look at what's on the back of this one. Right, I'm going to keep this plaid on the front. There we go. And then we're going to do exactly the same on the inside, on the outside. So bring back my trimmer, and the first thing I was going to do was cut it at 6 3/4, which leaves us with a 1.5. Sorry, 1 1/4. By 4 3/4, so there's the arm done. And then 4 3/4 off this one. And ink this. Now this piece you can save for another project, or you can use it on the back, and you could put a writing space there, and you could, did I bring them? No, I do have the stamp set for this kit as well, and you could stamp a sentiment on the back, and you could have a writing space on the back, but I'm not going to do that here, so I'm going to keep this for another project. I'll show you where my writing space is in a second. Let's open this up. I can take the double-sided tape off. Let's line it up. And then this arm will tie in. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to put some tape over my magnet as well. So one, it'll help it stick onto it, but also the tape then sort of creates a domed effect which smooths out under your paper. Whereas if I left it without that, you might get the harsh circle of the magnet. There you go. So then it closes like so. Now the joys of the new paper pads is they don't do the journal cards anymore, but the paper pads come with journal cards you can cut up yourself. And on the back then, you've got these sort of journal writing places. So as I said, I've gone to the 8x8 pad to get some larger toppers. And you'll see that they just fit nicely on there. And I've mounted mine onto black cardstock. And then the reverse of this one is going to go on the back, so we've got a place to write our greeting. So I'm just going to place it where I want it. Now I don't want glue spreading up. Actually, it won't matter because I'm going to cover it anyway. So So I could be generous with my glue. Keep grabbing the blocked one. Ooh. So let's have a look. So you can have him towards the top. In the center. I like things just slightly up. There we go. And then when I open it up, I'm going to use this behind. Okay, so you do get a little bow just because of the thickness of the paper. So when you're writing, you might feel that. If you don't like that, as I said, you can use this piece. Let's do it. And you can stick this on the back. And put a little piece of plain cardstock, or maybe even some of the patterns and solids from the matching piece, stamp from the stamp set as well. But there we go. That is my card. There's my envelope, and because I've got the 8x8 kit, let's grab some of the sticker sheets and let's decorate this up a little bit. So use one of the border pieces. Waste this piece, let's put it back on. What have we got? Let's add let's go for just center in the corner. And that then is the base for your swing gatefold. You see, just by changing the paper, even though the inside and the arm are the same paper, they just do look different. And you can now up level it even more. You can go in and add your glossy accents. You can even decoupage some of these, because you do have a second sheet of the toppers. You do get 2 of these, so you can see where he came from. This is the 8x8 version, this is the 12x12. So I could fussy cut him out. I said you could use the ephemera kit and some 3D foam pads and stick stuff up. Could add another extra greeting. Up to you. But hopefully you can see how you can take your 8x8 papers, use them in quite an economical way. I said 2 sheets or less than 2 sheets if you don't do the back like I did on this one. Save that for another project. And yeah, a very cute, a bit different. And I gotta say, do like these letters to Santa paper kits. Very nice. Thank you, Graphic 45. So hopefully you've enjoyed this. If you have, please give it a thumbs up and please write some comments below. I do like to see what you think. And I really look forward to seeing your versions. So please pop them up for us to see. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you all again soon.